Hi everyone, welcome to today's Google Partner live stream. I'm Ruby.
And my name is Tehan.
And together we'll be walking you through some app promotion product updates as well as a deep dive on gaming in APAC. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we'll walk you through a recent update that we made on ads in Google Play, and then I'll deep dive into the next generation of universal app campaigns. Just briefly on ads in Google Play. Last month, we announced that we now have a second ad slot in Google Play. We are adding a second ad slot when there is a high volume of queries, like in the example below. Keep in mind that this is a mock only, but you should expect additional volume from your ads showing in Play. As a reminder, this ad slot shows up on search app install campaigns as well as universal app campaigns. The other thing we announced last month that is extremely exciting is the next generation of universal app campaigns. The next generation of universal app campaigns really focuses on offering a really high value experience to app promoters, meaning that apps today center around driving loyal experiences, relationships with your customer base, accessibility, and additional functionality. And a lot of the key questions that advertisers ask after they get users to install the app is, which in-app actions of the users matter the most? What does the app mean for the business? And how are they optimizing the user experience? So with those questions in mind, we designed the next generation of universal app campaigns to really simplify the complexity that the app market faces today. So we know that discoverability is hard. There are over 2 million apps in each app store. The complexity is increasing. There's device targeting, there are placements, there's a lot of campaigns, there's demo targeting, creatives, exclusions. So a lot of that you as a marketer have to weigh and optimize around in order to find the highest quality installs. And we also know that LTV is crucial. So if the average CPI is over the lifetime, is higher than the lifetime value of the user, obviously that presents a really, really big problem. And so with these three challenges in mind, our product team decided to focus the next generation of universal app campaigns on acquiring and identifying the most valuable users. Recent studies showed that about 83% of users, total users, only contribute to 15% of the revenue, while a small minority, 17% of users, actually contribute to 85% of the revenue. So the problem that we're trying to solve is, how do we find those 17% of users and make sure that that we improve your margins in advertising by getting to those users more quickly. So the next generation of universal app campaigns is designed to be simple, cross-channel, meaning that it will serve across search, display, and YouTube as they have already. They'll also be cross-platform. So we've announced that universal app campaigns are also now available for iOS. There will be creative flexibility. We've added the ability to upload image ads, and it will focus on driving value. At the core of all of this is measurement. So we're encouraging all of our advertisers to share in-app actions with us to improve the value of the installs that universal app campaigns yields. So what does this actually look like? There's some things that are staying the same. Universal app campaigns, as a quick reminder, reach users in the right context while they are discovering on Play, searching on Google.com, engaging with apps, surfing the web, or watching on YouTube. So again, it's a cross-channel solution that with one campaign type reaches all of this inventory. On iOS, it's slightly different because obviously on Android, we have certain owned and operated properties like Google Play. On iOS, app ads in the Google Search app, we will also serve in our AdMob inventory, so while users are engaging in apps, on the web, and on YouTube. So the way that we're thinking about universal app campaign is we're trying to solve the challenges via automation to present really a best-in-class solution that presents a really simple way to do in-app event optimization. And so we'll zoom in a little bit on the screenshot below in the next slide, but the automation is really solving for a couple of things. We are helping you automate ads, targeting. We're using your conversions as the biggest thing that feeds what universal app campaigns looks at. We are allowing you to shift the bids up and down, and then we're also obviously allowing you to set your own budgets. But kind of getting a little bit deeper into what universal app campaigns, or the next version of universal app campaigns, is doing is helping you drive users through action the campaign optimization. So as you can see in the screenshot presented in the screen, there are two options to universal app campaigns. The first option is a legacy option that we've had available for the last year. It's allowing you to get installs of your app. The second option now allows you to get new users of your app that are more likely to complete the in-app actions that you're feeding to us. So what those in-app actions can look like are anything that you as the app developer have decided are important actions that users take inside your app after an install. So as you can see, the case in the screen that's being presented is this advertiser has shared registration events as well as add to cart and as well as purchase events. So all of these events could be factored into a universal app campaign to then find those high value users and decrease the amount of optimization that you have to do in the traditional campaign types. So how does UAC work? How do we take all the information that you're giving to us and then feeding that through our automation solutions? So first, we look at different actions, right? So if you're sharing install data with us, you'll also share in-app data with us. We're taking that and we're combining that with our own and operated data. For example, on Android, we look at Google Play data. Then we also look at context, so user attributes like device, the time of day, the location, search queries, the apps that they have installed on their phone. And then we combine that with intent. So what the user is doing on search, display the Play Store on YouTube. We put all of this information through a smart algorithm, and then we decide where to distribute the ads across all of our networks. And the goal is to find the successful hotspots. So for example, maybe it's most clicks are coming from females aged 25 to 34 that are using iPhone 5S. And then the second most popular audience is the same demographic, but using iPhone 6S. What we can do is then see how many conversions these audiences are actually yielding. And then as the algorithm learns, they then put higher value on the audiences that have proved out to perform the most amount of in-app actions. So your insights really are at the core of smart marketing. So KPIs and these in-app actions that you choose to share with us are the new control mechanisms to drive value. So the biggest thing that we are asking you all to do is identify which user actions are valuable and then optimize to your results with more control. We'll share with you in a couple of slides what some examples are of valuable actions, but we really want to shift the mindset to think about what are these KPIs and how do we increase the margins on our advertising by optimizing against these KPIs. So in this case, we want to identify users who are likely to either swipe right a couple of times or add a item to a cart or simply save a search. These actions are all more valuable than an app open, right? It's a layer deeper. And so therefore signal a more valuable user. By training our algorithms to think beyond the open and to a more valuable user, that should yield higher value installs. So what other actions can you think about measuring? We actually have a really amazing resource out there, and actually what in our Firebase Help Center, but it presents a recommended actions that you should be measuring for each of these verticals. So obviously they are different for games and jobs and travel and real estate, but these are some recommendations of events that you could measure. So for example, for retail and commerce, it's adding the payment information, the view of an item of a list, add to wish list, begin checkout, complete checkout, and all of these should help us refine which audiences we're going after. And not only that, is the right, basically weighing the right actions that have the right amount of volume, and then making sure that our campaigns are optimizing toward that. And so what the key takeaway here is, it's not about who the people are, where they are, it's what they're doing. And making sure that we are using first-party data, the app advertisers' data that they have that signal high-value users and your strategy, and then inputting that into Google's powerful signals. So it's really, the shift here is really taking that first-party data and training our algorithms to find you users that you already know are valuable. And our account teams can also help you think about what valuable actions are. And so I would strongly recommend reaching out to them and thinking through some of your top clients. And so you can think about your future strategy with universal app campaigns working across this entire funnel. So you have installs that might will be your kind of always on campaign, and you're getting the highest volume of installs. Then you have another campaign that will be for higher value installs, where you're adjusting your bids and budget based on in-app actions like the registration or usage and retention. And then you can also activate dormant users beyond the conversion window, and then complement that with a re-engagement strategy. So again, just to summarize, you can have a catch-all campaign that's an install campaign. You can have a campaign that focuses on higher value users, and then on top of that, a re-engagement campaign. So you're really closing the loop on all of the app's users. Trivago is one of our beta testers, and what they found was a 20% higher user LTV than previous campaigns. So the new version of Universal App Campaigns is clearly the next step in the app marketing space toward a scalable user acquisition model that captures users with a higher LTV. So again, it's a strong emphasis on higher LTV. Happen was also one of our testers out of Europe. They actually tested and saw that their cost per registration went down, a decrease of 68%. So again, it's about narrowing your margins or improving your margins, narrowing the error that could happen with manual optimization by simply telling us what you want up front, and then letting our system do optimization at scale. And so to just kind of put it all into perspective of what we have before we have a lot of retroactive analysis, right? So what happened, what placements work, what demo targeting worked, what keywords didn't work. So we would go in and exclude everything manually, and then try again, right? Try another campaign with these exclusions, test and see if the performance improved. With Universal App Campaigns, it's more real time. You tell us what matters, you tell us your marketing strategy, and then we go ahead and try to get you those users right up front. And so to summarize, it's finding valuable customers within a few new steps. The first thing that you have to do is define what actions are valuable to your business, report those actions via conversion tracking in AdWords, build a universal app campaign, and then leverage the power of machine learning to find those valuable users. We'll quickly head into Q&A. I know that there are some questions that frequently come up, but Dayon, do you want to maybe go through some of the questions that were in the queue previously?
Yeah, thanks, Ruby. That was an exciting update. I'm getting great feedbacks from advertisers on Universal App Campaign, saying that it's giving, we're finally harnessing the power of machine learning in that promotion space. Yeah. And one of the first questions I get from the advertisers is on optimization. So with Universal App Campaign, are we optimizing towards installs or purchases or any other in-app event?
Yeah, so I think this is a really important question. The answer is with Universal App Campaigns, you can now choose what you want to optimize for beyond install. So you have additional options. The Universal App Campaigns that you were previously using only had that one option that was to optimize for installs. Now we have the option to do that and a second option to optimize against the in-app actions that you choose to share with us via conversion tracking. So that could be purchases, that could be an add to cart, that could be a view of an ad, depending on the app's monetization model. And so it's not that we're launching a new campaign, or it's the same campaign type with two different options.
Great. And some agency partners are concerned that with UAC now on the market, we're taking user control out of the whole equation. What do you think about that?
I think we're not taking away the user control. It's the controls are evolving. I think in the past, we've traditionally relied on keyword reports, placements reports, ad format reporting to then tweak things to improve our margins. What we want to encourage people to think about is an actual advertiser's KPIs and using that as a control to optimize campaigns. So just because you share a purchase event with us doesn't mean that the Universal App campaign will be successful. We are going to have to find new best practices that revolve around, okay, well, which actions are the best ones to drive the best quality users at the right price, at the right volume. So it's several things that we have to balance. But I think the main takeaway is that KPIs and those in-app actions are the new controls for Universal App campaigns. Now, you still have, if you want to do it all in this app install campaigns, you can still do that. But I think the scale that Universal App campaigns will provide, as well as the value that they can yield by focusing on those in-app actions, can dramatically reduce the lag time to find success.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Any other last words on the best practices?
No, I think it's a new product. I would encourage you all to ask a lot of questions, adopt, try out different strategies, break it, send us feedback. And so we're very excited about it, and hopefully it's something that excites app developers in the States and our developers working with our partners.
Great.
Cool.
Thanks, Ruby.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, again. Welcome again to Google Partners Livestream on App Promotion Deep Dive in mobile gaming verticals in Asia Pacific region. Again, my name is Daeon An. I am Google's mobile app specialist based in our Seoul office. And I know some of you are not familiar with where the city of Seoul is. Seoul is the capital city of South Korea, which just happens to be the Google Play's third largest market in the world. It is also the home to the hit music video, Gangnam Style. Well, our office is in Gangnam, and I live in Gangnam District. Today, I'd like to share some of the Gangnam magic that pertains to the app gaming business. So the purpose of today's Hangout session is simple. Through this session, I'd like to bridge the distance US mobile agencies and marketers feel towards APAC gaming market. First, we'll go through a brief overview of what makes APAC gaming vertical so special. Then we'll go straight to the deep dive on APAC gaming app promo success cases and pro tips that we gained from agency-Google collaboration in the APAC region. So this is in use from July this year. China became the #1 country on Earth with iOS game revenue. When you look at the headline, it is obvious that the center of gravity in mobile gaming is shifting towards the east. And when you look at the number, it shows that much of growth in app revenue is driven by APAC region and game category in particular. According to App Annie, 5 out of the top 10 app market countries are in the APAC region. Japan is the #1 country in Google Play, and China is #1 in iOS. And who are the winners? When we take a closer look at the mobile game publishers, more than 50% of top 52 publishers in the world come from just 3 countries in APAC: China, Japan, and Korea. And their phenomenal success is driven by the growth of their home market and their pioneering adoption of new trends in mobile gaming, which we'll investigate further in this Hangout. So why should US agency focus on APAC expansion? Why should you care? Well, the math is simple. As App Annie illustrates in this diagram, revenue growth comes after the steep growth in download. And when we look at the global download trend, it is obvious that APAC is a battlefield in both emerging and mature market perspectives. It is projected that APAC region market size will soar to $57 billion by 2020. As a result, global agencies need more presence in APAC market one way or another. US agencies need to know more about the APAC gaming publishers and lead the conversation with US publishers on APAC expansion. How can we make this happen? First, you need to know the market you're targeting. Then you need to be able to customize based on your understanding of your target market. And relatively speaking, mobile games are easy to move around across borders than any other services or physical goods. So that's the good news. So let's dig deeper into what makes APAC region so special in mobile gaming. And I understand it's an audacious task to paint the picture of the whole region and the entire industry in 20 minutes, but I'll try to make it as fun and exciting as possible. If I have to sum up APAC gaming vertical in one sentence, it is that APAC is fast and furious. Here, fast stands for market speed, and furious represents hardcore user base. Now, let me tell you why APAC is fast and furious. What do I mean by saying that APAC is fast? We live in the mobile world, so mobile data speed is a key variable in mobile game industry. On the left side, Ole is a carrier service that I use back at home in Seoul. And #1 carrier service in US in terms of speed is Verizon, according to OpenSignal data. When you look at the number, you'll notice that mobile gamers in Korea typically gets 3 times faster network speed than those in the US. The logic here is simple. The faster and more seamless it is to do something, you'll do more of it. I also emphasize the furious and hardcore nature of APAC gaming industry. On the slide is a Google query trend for esports tournament and baseball championship that happens in Korea around the same time in October. Blue is esports Pro League championship, and red is baseball Pro League championship. And even though baseball is the biggest spectator sports in Korea, as you can see, game tournament comes out strong against the World Series baseball in Korea. And what does it mean? To gamers in Korea, a game is more than just a game. It's one of the major social activity and a spectator sports. There's a lot you can do with fast network and hardcore game users. You can advance and lead monetization practice because users are ready for it. Although the freemium became a catchword in US quite recently, Nexon, APAC publisher named Nexon, actually invented the freemium models back in 2001 with PC online games, almost a decade before the first iPhone came out. APAC publishers refined the model of gacha, a monetization technique modeled after the coin-operated toy vending machine in Japan. I'm sure you've seen it in pictures. Gamers get to purchase an opportunity with a slim chance to win their favorite characters, items, and cards. It's kind of similar to what Supercell is doing with the Clash Royale, if you're familiar with the game. And as you can guess, gacha can be very effective, but it doesn't work for all users. So some APAC publishers also invented a monthly subscription package for games. Every month, you get a chance to subscribe to game-enhancing package with fixed return on your purchase. It's kind of like steroid when you think about it. They even spice this up by just offering it exclusively in one day of the month and let you choose just one option out of the 2 offered. Very interesting. Many games now even take daily attendance of gamers and reward them for their loyalty, which is also very cool. And these advanced monetization models actually plays a crucial role in making the gamers engage more and stick to their games because they're making monetary and emotional investment to their games. And in APAC, the innovations doesn't stop in just game monetization. In order to hack and win the heart of hardcore game users, user acquisition in APAC evolved to adopt these 3 cool practices. First is pre-registration, which is very popular in Japan and Korea. Many publishers acquire a large pool of interested gamers to sign up for a game before the games are even launched on Google Play in order to minimize the risk of the launch campaign and kickstart downloads during the launch week. When games eventually launches, the gamers are notified and they install the game and they are rewarded for their early interest. Secondly, many publishers work with dominant messenger platforms in APAC to take advantage of their existing user pool and their social invite infrastructure. As a result, the biggest revenue source for these messengers, WeChat in China, Line in Japan and Thailand, Taiwan, and Kakao in Korea, became mobile games because they take a share of the revenue from the games. Finally, APAC publishers take user acquisition to the extreme by using incentive-based marketing platform. In these platforms, users get a share of ad spend either when they install or when their friends install from the link that you post or share through your blogs, social network, or your messenger. Pretty cool. Now you understand the innovations in monetization and user acquisition in APAC mobile games. However, when you actually execute and launch a game in APAC region, the most basic and crucial task boils down to localization. And remember, localization is more than just translation. You need to understand which intellectual properties or search keywords work, and test and tailor icons, screenshots, copies, and fonts, and really understand the mindset of local people and what gets them excited, like holidays, current events, and memes. As you can see on this slide, popular intellectual properties for RPG, role-playing game differ in different culture and countries. Zombies and vampires don't work well in Korea, where cats and martial arts are pretty popular. You also need to utilize Google Play Console's experiment functionality to optimize conversion rates based on different app icons and screenshots. For example, the most popular dragon icon may look different in Japan and US, even with the same game. You need to build up your campaign from localized content from the get-go. Now let's move on to the lessons we learned through agency-Google collaboration in APAC gaming vertical. The 3 success cases and pro tips are broken down into 3 themes: launch, video, and engagement. In order to increase the chance of success for your campaign, you need to understand the business cycle of mobile games and align your marketing with that cycle. I broke it down into 4 stages: pre-launch, launch, engagement, and decline stage. And yes, games do fade into obscurity eventually. For pre-launch, we need to find and build the right audience for your game through right contents and video. Get them excited and set them up to contribute to your launch efforts, in which you can maximize volume and accelerate growth in a very short period of time. At engagement stage, you need to focus on efficiency to sustain your level of success. Then there is decline stage, where you need to figure out the way to boost at key points and decelerate the decline. We can ask many questions based on this business cycle. For example, when will UAC, Universal App Campaign, be most successful? At which stage? At which stage does YouTube campaign play a role? Thankfully, we have many testimonials from top APAC publishers achieving success based on the business cycles that I mentioned in previous slides. During the launch stage, Elex from China maximized on installs with high LTV. Nexon from Korea gained both branding and performance traction through YouTube at $3 CPI for their hardcore RPG title. And Mixi from Japan figured out the way to tap into existing users to lower the retention cost dramatically. In summary, Google works in APAC. Now let's take a look at 3 pro tips that made this success possible. For the first pro tip, you need to realize that your game starts before the launch. And I don't mean that just in metaphorical sense. Pre-registration campaign with YouTube video and PC and mobile web display networks not only increase the pool of pre-registered loyal users, but also builds up audience list to target for cross-device marketing when you actually launch your app. It also helps to build up brand keywords and presence, and is a great way to warm up to see which of your creatives resonate with your audiences before you launch with the Universal App Campaign. For second pro tip, I would like to emphasize the importance of multi-creative strategy with YouTube. And what I mean by that is creatives follow the 80-20, 20-80 rule as well. If you have 10 creatives, majority of those performance will be derived from a few top creatives. So it is important to have as many options as possible. And recently, I, together with my key agency partners, found out that 5-second creatives are very successful for YouTube ad promo ads in the APAC region. There's an automatic end screen for download call to action at the end, so it's actually 10 seconds. In all cases, I see better brand awareness, ad recall, uplift numbers coming from our brand lift surveys, and better CPI and better ROI in general. It is definitely worth it. I highly recommend it for your gaming clients. Lastly, it is very important to segment your existing users to build a re-engagement campaign to squeeze out that LTV at engagement stage. You need to build and get your list ready before you launch. I cannot emphasize this enough. You can segment users whatever way you please. But here's a sample engagement list architecture from our APAC client. You can segment it by last time login, and whether you made a purchase or not, and whether you reached a certain level. Say if you have 3 date ranges, 3, 7, 30 days, and you're checking for in-app purchases, and whether your user reached a level 10 or not. Then you end up with 12 segment lists because it's 3 times 2 times 2. Moreover, the game users in APAC respond to re-engagement campaigns when it's coupled with great content upgrades, and promotional events. So make sure you localize messaging and promotion deals for these re-engagement campaigns. Make it count and make it worth it. So here's the key takeaways from today's live stream on expanding your app promotion to APAC gaming verticals. APAC mobile gaming vertical is fast and furious. Market speed is fast, and users are ready for great games. This led to key advances in monetization and user acquisition practice in APAC mobile games. So it is important that you adapt and localize to APAC standards to get your game to shine. And when agency and Google collaborate, we found wild successes in APAC mobile game verticals. It is important to tailor your marketing and marketing efforts to your game's business cycle in APAC. And for pro tips, I highly recommend that you make sure to utilize pre-registration, 5-second video creatives, and user engagement lists by segment. And that's it, folks. Thank you for listening. I hope you had a great time.
Yeah, and for any additional questions, feel free to reach out to your Google account teams. Thank you.
Thanks.